As you can remember from the previous video, we did a lot of fixes from the steering to the hydraulic system to, regulating the valves that were just incorrect. Well, now we're going to focus on something that's I would consider a major safety hazard, which is the brakes. Now, this tractor has probably one of the worst brakes of all time that I have had. I think there are even worse ones, but these are the worst brakes that I've come across in my practice. So we're going to dive into that later in the video. So before I started doing anything else, I decided to actually take the carrier off and take it to a friend's shop and see why were things not going into each other, and why there was everything was kind of bad. So we found out that the Chinesium or China-made case is not that usable. There's some tolerance differences. I did have a spare one, so then I had another one, and came out that from 3 units we were able to build one good one that can actually be used. The other case is just horribly worn. The bearing surface is just horribly worn in, and that case is no longer unusable. I did salvage some parts from the Chinese case, so it's better than having absolutely nothing when your case is broken or anything else happens. So basically, all we did was reassemble it, test it, bore the holes to M18 size metric bolts, and we should be good to go. Now, here's the other thing. If you're installing this back, make sure you use 3 bolts to secure it, not 2. There's actually also a locating pin, but that locating pin hole there's a pin broken inside it, so I can't use it. But anyway, you actually do want to secure those bolts really, really tight. And there's 2 long ones and a short one. The short one goes always into that side that faces where the flywheel is located. So that's really something important to remember. Now, on to the video. Hi there. Well, I guess it's time for another video update, because it's been a while when we did one, and let me show what's been happening. Now, as you could see from the intro, we fixed the carrier. It's finally done and it's working. We also did some farmer fix the drive shafts, because these, I would say the holes, but the pinions are so worn out. So now at least nothing can come loose. And we have the guards from the 800 series to protect the drive shafts from binding hay and what have you not into here. But guess what else I did? I drained the oil, the transmission and the rear axle, and I don't know if you can see this, but it's just literally black as soot. So I don't know, to me it seems this the guy whoever had the tractor before me used just old engine oil. I mean, that's the old farmer's trick. You don't have any transmission oil, just dump whatever you have in it, right? Right. Well, I guess we scooping that oil out of the 40-liter catch pan now, and yeah, that's not the only thing I did. I mean, I'll show you what the blocks look like. That's what the oil blocks look like. There's some small debris, but no shrapnel really. I mean, it's just old dirt, and there's just some metal shavings, but nothing too serious. I was expecting huge chunks of metal. I mean, the crawler had worse blocks than these. I mean, they're gonna get cleaned up and put back to where they belong, but right now there's just something else we have to do. Okay, here's the thing. We have to drain all that crappy oil out somehow. Now, what would be the best method? really what you can do is have sacrificial gloves, then pull this pan towards you as much as you can, because there's going to be more dripping coming. One thing with hot weather is if it's 30 degrees Celsius outside, just take all the plugs out and let the oil drip out. I mean, no shame in it. And yes, my hands have apparently sawdust in them, but whatever, it's old oil and it's gonna get recycled anyway. So now let me think where I can get a scoop to get all this oil out so you can see how black it is. Alrighty, found myself a sacrificial scoop because we're not going to use it for anything else. It's too rusty. So, oh yeah, get in there, nice and black. Oh yeah, thick black goo. I don't know, this, it looks like half transmission fluid and half something else, and this stuff is like sticky like freaking marmalade or cheese and rice. And this is the episode, me scooping old transmission oil non-stop. Yeah, this thing is just, let me tell you, this is freaking disgusting, but we need this catch pan for something else, so all this nasty oil has to come out, like it or not. Yeah. Well, I guess I'll be doing this for the next foreseeable hour or so, and I'll be sparing you from having to watch all of this. Okay, we're done. Well, one thing is for sure, oil change on old machines is a messy ass job. I'll give credit to Ants. He actually has tarp underneath the tractors. I don't, because I'm stupid. I don't learn. Well, I mean, now we can put some more fresher oil in it, and apparently it's gonna get new oil anyway, because apparently I have to go to the transmission side anyway. But you know what, for now this oil change was definitely a good decision. Now let me get to all the other things I need to do. I mean, summertime is the busiest time of the year. I don't know about anyone else, but from my point of view, that's the busiest time for everything. Okay, people, those who want to see me more break loose stubborn nuts. Now I'm gonna use the super impact tool from Ants Pants, and there's a stuck bolt here, right here. So let's see if this thing can actually break it loose. This is the brake adjustment bolt, and it's really tight. Now, okay, Makita, let's see what you can do. Oh, holy man. This thing came out like it was nothing. Let me see if I stripped the threads. No, I didn't. Broke loose like a champ. Yeah. I think we can even reuse this bolt if we want to, but it's a bit, I don't know. We'll see about reusing, but let's go to the other side and see what this thing does there. Okay, this is the left side. Let's see what we can do here. Same drill. Okay, are you 19s? Nope. Please behave, good sir. There we go. And this one's not usable, but that's not even the problem. Everything else is there. I just wonder why it was that. Not sure. We have to dig in deeper to this mystery. I'm sure that there's some other funky parts that we need to take apart now. And what did we find behind door number 1? Really worn and cooked brakes. Like, that's how much brake dust was in it, and I had to put on the mask. And the other side, well, let me show you. The other side is also cooked. And not only are the discs cooked now, and there's a lot of brake dust, the drum is cooked because this hasn't been doing braking job in a long time. And yeah, because these discs are so broken and worn and cracked, these brakes have gotten really hot at some point, and this is why they're cooked. And there's a blocking plate there as well on the rear axle. That one's cooked as well, so yikes. That was kind of not actually too surprised to see this, but this is what happens. Well, I do have replacements for the brakes, so it's not a big deal, but everything you saw is going to the scrapper straight away. I'm not even bothering to clean up anything. I mean, that is just an example what happens with disc brakes when they're stuck for too long. The old IH formals have the same setup and they have the same issues. The brake just gets sticky. And well, don't worry, I have replacements and good replacements, so we'll be fixing the brakes. And yeah, this was a job that was probably overdue for a lot of decades. So I'm gonna dispose of these nasty brake drums and all the rust and all the other busted hardware, and yeah, I'll go on from there. But I'll tell you what, this tool here is a true champ. Like, this one saved me from a lot of headache. I mean, I'm really tempted to get one, and this is on the priority number 1 list now. This thing just opened up every rusty and seized bolt. Otherwise, I would have just struggled like crazy. I mean, thanks, Ants. You're a great guy, allowing me to use this tool. Oh boy, you think you know sometimes you get bad luck? Let me show you what I got. Now, a buddy of mine told me that in the scrapyard there's a rear axle of a Belarus. He didn't know what it was, but he kindly, took it out from the scrap pile, and basically I ended up getting probably good bits. The differential is really good. The backing plates are good. The sprocket's good. Also, the pull gears, well, a bit sharp, but one of them we can turn and use more pieces. Also, these are the shims. Those are impossible to get. Yeah, lots of stuff here. Basically, um, I believe I saved up at least a lot of money by buying them from the scrapyard, but basically, well, I had to trade it. But anyway, I guess we have solved a problem. And the problem was basically we needed another rear axle, because if you see what I took out, well, it's obvious those parts are just not reusable anymore. I mean, we can chuck them back, but basically we have no idea what other surprises are in store. So yeah, I mean, we're ready for a total rebuild, I guess. And yeah, you can never underestimate scrapyards. You never know what kind of things can come there. Of course, there's some pieces that probably are not that usable, but whatever. For me, it means that if I can't use them, I can always take them back. No harm, no foul. Okay, back with the old shenanigans. I put those good parts into, conserve them for the future. But let me show you what I found out. What else I found that I would say is a bit of a concern. So here we have these, I wouldn't say call them pull gears, but they're, in my language, they refer to as grenades, but they're not grenades. They're basically the meshing gears for the pull gears. And well, obviously this one came out of my tractor, and you can see the splines are very worn where the side and differential goes. This one, I picked from the scrapyard. It's good. The bearing sleeve was completely loose when I pulled this one out. Yeah, bearing surfaces not that great. I mean, these ones are really pitted, and this happens when the tractor's been sitting with moisture or for years and years, and there's humidity and they stick, and this is how it happens. Also, this teeth is broken, so I don't know, like, I'm gonna put this one in, and you can see genuine part MTZ, so we know that's a good one. This one has literally nothing. I don't know, like, I'm gonna test how good the spline wear is, but basically I'm going with this one. With this one unfortunately is yeah, unsavable, and I was looking if I couldn't get new ones, but apparently 500 series meshing gears are unobtainium, so yikes. I guess also, yeah, look at the the pitting on the seal surface. Yeah, I guess we're going with this guy over here. She's way better. She's way better. So that was only the first problem we had. Let me show you what else I discovered. Like this gift keeps on giving, and from those meshing gears, yeah, we probably have to do a differential and rear axle rebuild anyway. So, oh no, I'll just chuck something in so we can use the machine for the foreseeable future. But we definitely are in for another surprise. But check this out. These are for the disc brakes on the 500 series. These are the blocking plates for disc brakes. So basically on this surface your disc rides, and this is what came out of my tractors. There's yeah, she is a bit too pitted to be reused, but here are some interesting finds. So this here is a 500 series one. Has a weep hole, as you can see, and two seals. They are 50 by 70 by 10. Mine has two seals and also weeping hole. So these two are identical. Now these two here is from Scrapyard. This is from a 600 series Belarus tractor that's not even made anymore in Belarus. They are the UMC 6KL and the 600 series, but they're identical, just there's a different casting factory here. Now, this one came from the parts rear axle. Only one seal. There's no weeping hole. 600 series. Two seals. They're all same size. Also no weeping hole. But otherwise, there's the same. I have, you know what, I mean, I would rather use, good mating surfaces. And this is just surface rust. But if it's like, pitted like this, it's no good. It's going to ruin the disc. It's just complete waste of time reusing this one. I mean, you may be able to turn it in a latte, but yeah, these... oh boy, it's going to be an expensive job if you don't have your own machine shop. So, yeah, I don't know what the heck, from where this one could be. There's a green mark, but really nothing else. 600 series. Also nothing else. No idea. Maybe this is a really early 600 series. But why just one seal? And I mean, there isn't, like, if you look at the room here, there's only room for one seal. There's no room for another seal, which is really interesting. 600 series, plenty of room. 500 series, plenty of room. This one, I don't know. Maybe they casted it wrong. No idea. So that's the kind of, parts tobacco I'm actually working with. So yeah, I mean, great. Now we have to figure out what else I want to do with them. I mean, I'm probably going to use the best pair I can find. And the real reason is the 600 series would work. The problem is I would have to cork certain holes, and it doesn't have a weep hole like the 500. I'm not going to drill a weep hole because that's usually, you need a real sharp carbide tip, small drill bit. So basically, I don't have that, and it's not worth it really. So I'm thinking of, I'm gonna clean up all of them and see where else it goes. But yeah, I've never seen one where there's like one seal. I'm gonna have to consult with the experts on this one. But yeah, we'll see where we go from here, because I definitely have stumbled on something which has not been discovered. That's for sure. Wouldn't you know? First ever, no, actually not the first, but probably among the first channel donations actually. And this is a hydraulic unit. You have your lift valves, and this is a channel donation by a viewer who generously gave it to me. I mean, it's in working condition, but may need some leak repairs. So I'm thankful. I mean, this seems to be the right kind of one I need. And usually you have to look at this number, P753021. Now that's the number you want to keep in mind, because some of these hydraulic lift units, they need an extra channel to work. But some, I believe this one, can work without any additional pressure being pumped into the valves. So yeah, these spool valves will work independently. So I guess we're gonna save this one up for the future, and gonna see where we go from here. Thanks for the donation. Really appreciate this. Well, hardly any guess. I mean, I did expect these brakes to be bad, but that's just a lot of brake dust, and most of these parts are just yeah, who knows when the last brake maintenance was done. So I decided, it's just time to renew everything. There's no sense of keeping any of the old stuff. So here you can see from the pictures the refurbished, good, used 600 series Belarus tractor drums. They have a different casting number, but they are virtually interchangeable and the same. They just made in a different factory. So it's in tolerance and size-wise, they fit. And the rest was just notorious cleaning and, buying new hardware, because a lot of the old stuff that came out, except for the bolts, was pretty much unusable. So we shall now continue with the other chapters of this video. Alright, I don't remember the last part that I filmed, but here is the new brake assembly. This is actually from a 600 series Belarus. We're using the 600 series brake drum. It has a different number, but it's virtually interchangeable with the 500. The only thing on this 600 plate is it doesn't have a weep hole, and it has two additional holes we are not utilizing. I mean, you could cork them off, but I'm gonna take the brakes off anyway, because we have a little bit of bearing issue going on. And if you saw from the pictures, I found a good replacement. Now this side where the bearing goes in, that side, the internal surface is wasted. Actually, I used Loctite or adhesive to get that bearing to stuck so that it wouldn't float. But we do need a new bearing for this. So I guess, yeah, I'm also using the original bolts because the ones I bought, they're too long and my thread cutters can't cut any threads. They're actually, these have actually a shrunken head. It's for a 17mm wrench. These are your OEM bolts. They are maybe 6th grade bolts. They're not really, I cleaned up the threads. Some of them were schmucked, but they're reusable. I'm using this old stuff, which is a graphite grease. Of course, you would want to use molten grease, not this junk, but I'm going to take the brakes off anyway because we have other problems than that. I believe that differential is also shot, and there's 2 buckets there, and one of there is for a reason. That side is leaking like hell. I tried to do some schmoo shop action to get it, to seal. But let's be honest, the rear axle and anything it's wasted. It needs total rebuild. Like, I could see inside, and the differential may be okay, but those satellites, those are gone. So yeah, I guess now all I have to do is to put this thing together, and I found something interesting I didn't know about. This blocking plate has an internal puller made inside. You can basically use a coarse thread M12, that's M12 1.75 thread bolt them here, and you can use these to get this blocking plate off the rear axle housing. So not real deal. There's 2 seals here. There's 1 O-ring. They all schmooed up with the right stuff. I'm using silicone grease to put the O-rings on, and to put it on, you basically utilize 2 of these holes. These are also, you can use the same bolts and basically much start pressing them in. You may use a hammer to get it if it's like really stuck, but usually if the surface is so clean, it'll go just fine. So basically, this is our pusher holes, and these are our pulling holes. Really simple and ingenious design. Didn't know that, but if you ever struggle to get this blocking plate off, now you know how to get it off. Of course, if it's rusty and stuck with gunk, you have to retread. And also, I retreaded every hole here, despite some of the parts will be interchanged. And what I'm using is the OEM parts. Basically, this is the only non-OEM part here. This is the disc. So people who have farmhouse, those you all recognize these parts. And this actually is made in Ukraine. I mean, my friends have had good luck with these ones. I don't know if this company produces anything anymore, or maybe they're just producing war-related items now. But anyway, I'm gonna get the other side was, is already done. Now I need to do this side, and then we're gonna adjust the brakes. So pretty much our brake system should be done. Then we can move on to finding out all the other issues. Okay, so less yapping and more action, I guess. You know what the worst thing is? I'm sick of working on projects that keep never giving out. Like, they're like endless. Let me show you. So I fixed this notorious radiator leak. You can see it was leaking from there, and the only way I could actually fix it was just JB Weld. I mean, it's gonna hold, but definitely this radiator is not the greatest. Like I say, if you can, just get a new radiator. These old ones are a nightmare to repair. Like, not gonna lie. What else did I do? Well, let me show you. I fixed this here. This is actually the, front wheel assist. Basically, that's your engagement mechanism. There's the handbrake. That one was pretty loose. And the last thing I did was fix, like, remember there was a pedal here you had to push down? Now I switched over to the 800 series, you know, linkage, basically remove the pedal completely. Like, that's also one thing, is that pedal is annoying. The pivots were really worn, the pedal was worn. I do have a new pedal, but you know, this setup is pretty good. On the 500 series, you have, you know, semi-automatic engagement and full engagement. The third one, this is from the 800 series. On the 800 series, you have total disengagement, semi-automatic engagement, and full engagement, basically. This one has two, and usually people, another hack mechanics or farmer's trick basically, is to get rid of all the semi-automatic pieces and use only on and off switch. No between gears and gear meshing. And yeah, the brakes are good. You can see it pivots and moves back. But we need to test this thing. And also, I fixed this hydraulic line, and there was, let me show you. Hold on 1 second. Here is the hydraulic valve for this tractor on the 500 series. Now, I don't know how you're supposed to get to those nuts there. Basically, you can't, unless you tighten that one up, and then you can loosen this one up. I don't know, like, there's no room for any wrench. Like, really, I had to use a 40mm socket to get to this one, and really bad and painful thing. Like, holy dude, like, that's the worst placement of ever. Like, that's not great. But I got it done, and let me say that the real reason why it was leaking was just O-rings were bad. There was this one spring in there. That spring was not great. I did use another spring I had from a donor, and I mean, it should now work. I didn't see any scuffing or scoring or anything bad with the valve itself. It didn't bother filming because everything is just so messy. There's hydraulic oil. Hopefully there's no more leaks anymore. I'm so sick of these hydraulic leak fixes. Like, just epic no. And I also lost the track. I did a lot of things. Did that shock absorber. I remember replacing the knob. I did a lot of little things here. Little pivots. The brakes. The brakes we have done. You can see all these 600 series brake drums are in. And we have also marked them with the correct, you know, date and tag. So I remember when I last did them. So hopefully that radiator doesn't leak anymore. But this machine, I'm never sure what to expect. It's like kind of expect the unexpected. So anyway, I'm going to probably have to do some brake adjustments, but we're gonna find out if this thing has more issues or we can finally do some work with it. Okay, enough yapping. I'm gonna get back to work. Okay, people, brake test time. Okay, let's put take a rest. Yep, they're working. We have working brakes. Working brakes, first time in many decades. I know it's not easy to film with one hand, but we're testing the brakes and we're also testing the front axle. Seems to all work fine. Oh yeah. Okay, let's see if the rear differential works. Hold on, let me get. I don't know if you can even hear anything, but whistling geese. Let's see what happens. First gear. Oh yeah. We're going slow, but the axle is actually moving. Oil pressure is doing that great, but temp is going up. Oh no, and there's no oil bottle anymore. What's that, the last bottle from the last time we worked here? I don't know how much footage I got, but I call this a success. We have brakes, we have a clean fuel tank, we have no more pesky leaks. There's a few. Let me see if I can find any. Hold on. So there's one here, but I think there's a very small leak somewhere. I got the handbrake working with the one pedal. With two pedals the handbrake doesn't want to cooperate, but yeah, whatever. The brakes are fine. This year the front axle engagement works splendid. The carrier is good. There's no valve drain noise, but some piston slaps, but that's normal. And there was the pesky leak. I think she's dry. No more coolant anywhere. That's a good sign. And for those who are wondering, this actually is the original 500 series filter. I got rid of the other one that was just too clogged. Despite it was clean, but I decided whatever. So everything works. The hydraulic works. There's no leaks here. The pinion works. The clutch works. There's a few minor things to do, but I can actually use the damn thing now. And inside, it's mostly clean. There you can see that front axle assist switch, which is a farmer's classic. Why not? I think that leak is coming from one of these lines. There's a pinhole leak somewhere, but I can't really find it now, and it's not really that important. In the near future, the tractor's gonna come apart anyway. We have a bad differential probably. We have the bad rear axle, bad clutch. Pretty much everything from the gearbox onwards needs to be redone, but it's getting significantly better. So I call it a success, despite I did a lot of things here. I even have lost the count how many small and things I did, but you just saw the brakes are working. It's now safe for use. It's not going to fall apart. It's not going to roll down the hill and kiss a tree, or worst of all, kill the operator. So yeah, we don't want anything like that. But that would be it for this video. I mean, it's been long in the making, but finally we've done it. So I don't know what the next plan is. Maybe we'll do some work here and there and see what else we can do. Anyway, see you all later.